So today, you guys, we are going to create our Google form where we're going to write our project questions so we can collect data, create some graphs, and analyze our data. So last week I introduced the project to you, and this week I said be prepared with your project question that gives you numerical data. Casey?
Could you go around, say you were going around the school, could you ask people what you give them a question or something, how many hours do you do homework each night, and then you write down the data? Is that cool?
That's a great question. That's what we always did without technology, right? You would go around and you would ask people, and you'd have to write it down, and then you'd have to compile all your data. The cool thing about what we're doing today is I'm going to show you how to create a Google form so we can do it all online. You can ask all my other math students your question because they can go to your blog and they can answer your question, and it collects, all your data collects into a spreadsheet. So it saves you a lot of time. I have typed up the instructions on what to do. So it goes step by step, and it has a picture to the right. Okay? It looks like we're pretty small today, so we can all pretty much have our own laptop. You're going to follow the instructions step by step. When you get stuck, you're going to raise your hand and I'll help you. Couple things to think about before we start. One, I created a new username for you in Google Apps. So Google Apps is going to allow us to create a Google form. Your username is your blog username, so it's the same. Remember, it's your first name and then CMS for Clayton Middle School. Your password is your student ID. So your username to get into Google Apps is your blog username, and your password is your student ID. If you don't have that information, then I have it for you. Okay?
My project question is, how many siblings do you have?
My project question is, how many sodas do you drink a month?
My project question is, how many texts do you send in a day?
My question for this is, how many times can you write cupcake in a minute?
My project question is, how many cavities do you have in your mouth?
Our question is, how many minutes does it take to do your hair?
Okay. My project question is, how many hours I text a day?
Jordan, how do you refresh
My question is, how many hours a day do you play video games?
My project question is, how many text messages do you send each day?
My project question is, how many video games have you owned in your entire life?